Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Calm with Carlin, yoga and meditation for your everyday life. And welcome to day 5 of the Yoga for Self-Love Challenge. Our theme today is embrace. So embrace, by definition, means to accept willingly and enthusiastically, and in the spirit of self-love and finding a deeper connection with ourselves. This is our theme for practice today, not just embracing ourselves willingly and enthusiastically, but also embracing our time on our mat and our practice and where we are in our practice. Falling in love with the process and not the outcome, which we'll talk about during our Grow Day as well. So focus on embracing yourself where you are today, where you are in this moment, accepting it willingly and enthusiastically throughout our practice today. We're going to be starting in a downward facing dog, so I'll see you there when you're ready. All right, downward facing dog, hips are high, fingers are wide, heels are reaching towards the ground. Our first thought in our downward facing dog is always to find movement, but I want you to embrace stillness to start. Resist the urge to pedal out the feet or the knees, or find those little spinal waves, whatever you typically do when you get into your downward facing dog. Just be here in this stillness and notice what it feels like. Embrace what it feels like. It won't be long before we can walk out our dog, find a little bit of movement, just accepting a change in our practice here, starting off in an inversion pose and in stillness. Can be difficult, but we can embrace difficult things. When you're ready, you can pedal out the knees or the feet, whatever movement would feel good. Maybe you shake the head yes and no, look side to side, lift the heels, and then reach them down to the ground. Whatever feels good. And then we'll all meet in a high plank, so take an inhale, look to the top of the mat, and really slowly, one vertebrae at a time, go ahead and transfer your weight more towards your hands as you find this high plank position. Make sure your wrists are right underneath your shoulders, your hips are lifted, your core is engaged. Just holding this high plank for 5, 4, embracing the shakes for 3, for 2, on 1, come down to the forearms, find a low plank. Hands can come to prayer or the palms can face up. We're keeping tension out of our shoulders, lowering the hips maybe just slightly, but still keeping them nice and lifted. Take an inhale here and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and drop the hips down to the ground. Untuck the toes. Bring the forearms parallel to one another with the palms facing down. We're in our Sphinx pose here, pulling the elbows towards the rib cage, pulling the chest through the biceps, finding a nice opening. We're also opening the low back here, and if you have any tension in the low back, you'll separate your feet a little bit wider. That will help you to relieve some of that low back tension. Close your eyes. Embrace the opening. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Bring your head on top of your hands. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Let's do that again. Deep breath in. Exhale, let go. Nice. Go ahead and bring the hands to the sides of your chest. Take an inhale, press into the tops of the feet. Lift up for a baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. One more time, lift up, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Go ahead and tuck the toes. Come onto the knees if you need to, and then press yourself up into a high plank and lift the hips. Find your downward facing dog. Take an inhale here, look to the top of the mat, bend the knees, and walk or jump your feet to your hands, taking an inhale to lift up halfway, and an exhale to forward fold. Slowly rise all the way to standing, one vertebrae at a time. And we'll come to standing at the top of the mat, preparing for 2 rounds of Sun B. Take the big toes to touch, slight gap in the heels, about the size of a slice of cheesecake. Take your hands to your sides, palms face forward, micro bend in the knees, shoulders relaxed, chest is proud. Your ears are over your shoulders are over your hips. Take an inhale here. And on your exhale, arms up, seat down, find your chair pose. Spiral your pinkies in towards one another to relax your shoulders and see if you can get 1 inch deeper in your chair. Take an inhale here. And on your exhale, straighten the legs, hinge forward, and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your high plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly or halfway for your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot steps forward, warrior 1. The left foot comes down, the left toes face the top left corner of the mat. The fingertips reach to the sky, 90-degree bend in that front knee. Take just 1 inhale here. And on your exhale, lower down, plant the hands, step back to your high plank. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step the left foot in between the hands. Right foot plants, right toes face the top right corner of the mat. Inhale, lift up, warrior 1. Inhale here. Exhale to stay. 1 more inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, high to low plank. Find your vinyasa, your chaturanga, to your up dog, to your down dog. Take an inhale here. Stay for your exhale to reset. And then inhale, bend the knees, look to the top of the mat. Walk or jump your feet to your hands, big toes come to touch. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall. We'll do that 1 more time, adding in 1 more posture in our warrior 1. Inhale, sit back, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, warrior 1, right foot steps, left foot spins down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, stay. Heel toe the right foot a little bit further to the right side of the mat, creating some space. Interlace the hands behind the back. Take an inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And on your exhale, start to hinge forward, folding to the inside of the right knee. Maybe the hands start to lift up over the head. Folding down, opening the shoulders. Doesn't matter how far you go. If you feel an opening in your body, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what these shapes looks like. We're worrying about what they feel like. Take 1 more inhale in this humble warrior. And on your exhale, slowly lift back up, reaching the fingertips up to the sky, and then planting the hands to the ground, stepping back to your high plank, and flowing through your vinyasa. You can always skip these chaturangas and go right back to your downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, step the left foot in between the hands. Drop the right foot, take an inhale, lift up, warrior 1. Heel toe that left foot over towards the left side of the mat. Interlace the hands behind your back.
Opposite thumb on top. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, open the chest, and on your exhale, fold to the inside of that left leg. One more inhale here. Stay for your exhale. And then use the next inhale to slowly come all the way up to standing. Reach the fingertips up to the sky. Beautiful. And then go ahead and plant the hands and just step right back to your downward facing dog. From your down dog, take an inhale. And then step the feet to the hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. From here, we'll find an eagle pose coming up to standing. This is a tricky balance, but we're going to embrace the shakes, embrace this challenge. It'll be fun. Take an inhale. Cross your right arm on top of your left. So left arm is on the bottom. Palms come to touch. Elbows are in line with your shoulders. Are pressing away from you. Now from here, you'll cross your left foot on top of your right. Find a little kickstand. If you want more of a challenge, you'll wrap that left foot all the way around the right leg and start to sink down in your seat. This is your full eagle pose here. Really opening through the back body while we're finding this tricky balance. We won't be here for long. We're going to keep these eagle arms. Slowly inhale to stand up, take your left knee with you, and then step the left foot back, find a warrior one again. So the left foot is at a 45-degree angle facing the left corner of the mat, and your right knee is bent to 90. Take an inhale, lift the fingertips up, and on an exhale again, we'll fold forward. You might find a little bit more space this time with your hands in front of you instead of behind you. Maybe you get a little bit deeper in your fold, really opening through that right hip. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, slowly come all the way back up to your warrior one with eagle arms. And then uninterlace the hands, take the hands to the hips and step the left foot forward to meet the right. Beautiful. Other side. This time, the right arm comes underneath the left. Palms come to touch, elbows in line with shoulders. Forearms press away from the face to open the back body. Slight bend in the left knee. You'll start by taking the right foot around into a kickstand. If you feel good here, maybe you try wrapping that right leg all the way around the left, sitting back in your seat. Finding your balance here, finding this opening. We really are embracing ourselves in a weird way in this eagle pose, kind of wrapping our body up within itself. And the more you squeeze everything in, the forearms, the inner thighs, the more stability you'll find. Take an inhale, come to standing, bring the right knee with you, and then step the right foot back, bend the left knee to 90 degrees. Find your warrior one. Take an inhale, fingertips lift. And on the exhale, start to fold to the inside of the left knee. Again, maybe you find a little bit more space with the hands in front of you, still keeping those eagle arms as you open up through this left hip. Maybe that left shoulder presses into the left knee. Find your balance here. And then inhale to lift back up to warrior one with eagle arms. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips and step your right foot forward to meet your left. And from here, we'll come all the way down to our seat, to our knees rather. We're gonna find a camel pose before we sit. And go ahead and bring the knees hips width distance apart. Toes will be tucked. For this camel pose, you'll start by bringing your hands to your low back, fingertips facing up. Take an inhale, grow tall, and an exhale to press the hips forward as you lean back slightly. Inhale here. Exhale, come back. Sitting up nice and tall on the knees. We'll take another round. You can keep your hands at your back if that feels comfortable. Maybe this time you try taking your hands to your heels. And from there, you continue to press the hips forward, leaning back, finding that back bend, and then letting your head and neck go back as well if that feels good. If it feels better to tuck the chin to the chest, you can stay there. And take one more inhale. And on your exhale, slowly start to come out of this very carefully. Bring the knees together, take the arms along behind you, and find a child's pose, forehead to mat. Enjoy this embrace and this tiny little ball. Letting go of anything that might be coming to mind, especially with some of those back bends. And just be here in the moment, accepting where your practice is, where your mind is today. And when you're ready, slowly come to a seated position. We'll find a forward fold before we transition to our final posture. So go ahead and take the legs out in front of you, flex the feet, take an inhale, reach the fingertips up, and on your exhale, slowly hinge forward. Maybe the hands touch the feet. If they don't, you might want to try bending the knees closer to the chest in order to find that hand to feet connection. Really letting go of tension in the low back. If you bent the knees in order to touch the feet throughout your time in this forward fold and in all your forward folds to come, you might practice starting to straighten the legs, finding that deeper stretch in the back body. Take an inhale, lift up, and find a comfortable cross-legged seat. We'll finish seated today. We'll just be here for a moment. Bring your hands to your thighs, palms facing up for acceptance or down for grounding. I'm choosing acceptance today, embracing whatever comes to me. Palms open, shoulders relaxed. Chin tucked slightly. Head over heart and heart over pelvis. Focusing on the breath. Accepting anything that comes up willingly and enthusiastically. Take your next exhale, and then make your next inhale the biggest one you've taken so far today. Breathe in all the air, all the good energy. And then take your longest exhale, letting the breath go out the mouth nice and slowly. Bring your hands to heart center. Close our practice. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you here tomorrow for day 6. Namaste.